Experts at the Ghana Economic Summit are calling on government to prioritize long-term currency stability to boost business confidence. Imani Africa's Kofi Bentil says a predictable exchange rate is key to sustainable growth, as other economists commend Ghana's improved inflation outlook and urge reforms to strengthen the domestic credit market.
The Ghana Economic Summit, held under the theme "From Policy to Prosperity, Building a Framework for Ghana's Economic Future," brought together key stakeholders to discuss pathways towards sustainable growth. Speaking in an interview with Joy Business, Vice President of Imani Africa, Kofi Bentil, urged government to prioritize long-term currency stability.
Stability over time. In fact, what is important is not whether the city falls or rises. What is important is that we have a stable, foreseeable future, stable, so that I know in 2 years the city will not go beyond 5% plus or minus. Then you can think. There are currencies some other places in the world which haven't fallen more than 10% in the last 10 years. If you think about a dollar, which many people rely on, it falls, it rises, but it is within a certain band. Because of that, everybody everywhere in the world is able to think with the dollar. So,
Director of Economics and Freedom at American Institute for Economic Research, Dr. Peter L., commended Ghana for its improved inflation outlook.
It's a fantastic development. I think people should be very proud, and I hope it keeps on going. Last I heard, inflation was between 8 and 9% year over year in Ghana. That's down from much higher a few years ago. We're doing the opposite in the United States. In the United States, we're driving inflation up. And so for that reason, I would expect that you would see improvements everywhere from unemployment to the success of businesses, GDP, all those things over time. Of course, the big thing is not to forget, and that is to never, sort of look back and say, 9% is good, maybe we can let inflation float up to 15%, whatever. It's eternal vigilance, and, nations need to stay on top of that.
President of the Institute for Liberty and Economic Education, Eric Kofi, emphasized on creating a conducive environment for SMEs.
In Ghana too, our system is made up of too much bureaucracy. Just setting up a business, the regulations, the taxes, and the lands, they are too much. It's a burden to the small business owners. Because starting a business, you have a very low capital, and all these nonsense and these requirements and all these regulations for be able to pass through to become officially recognized is not easy. So I think the government should find a way to streamline these processes.
The Ghana Economic Summit was organized by the Institute for Liberty and Economic Education and provided a platform for dialogue on Ghana's policy direction and long-term economic transformation.